Hello and welcome back to another fun-filled episode of True Crime Metrix. What are we doing tonight, folks? We're looking at part 2 of Sarah Boone Day 1. What did we cover yesterday? Well, we did opening statements, state and defense, as much as we could hear of them. Mr. J didn't do a very good job. I don't think anybody came away from that thinking that Mr. J did a good job. Unfortunately for him, just doesn't seem like he is a natural kind of lawyer. Like, I think he'd be better off working at Pottery Barn, or maybe working as a tour guide around historic sites, Williamsburg, teaching people how to churn butter and make candles. Something like that. I think that would be his thing, with a tricorn hat and a bell to ring, Maybe the town crier, Mr. J, the town crier. No, I don't think that's any good. We'll have to think about what Mr. J's job should be, because, as we all know, Mr. Chicken Cacciatore should be just getting himself some help for his drug problem. If he insists on staying with his abusive wife, seek counseling today. There's a fucking yellow pages somewhere. Look in it, find a number, give them a call. You can probably get a free consultation, chicken. No one needs to put up with their wife treating them that way. That's what's pushing you to the needle. So first off, please get yourself some help. Then we can talk about your career. But, you can't have a career when you're dead, OD'd, okay? You don't know what's in that stuff that you get in chicken. Could be fentanyl, laced with fentanyl, anything. Yeah, so we also did a couple of witnesses, didn't we? I'm trying to remember. We did the young neighbor who basically said, yeah, they were fighting all the time, completely drunk all the time, and she threw him down the stairs in a bag. I heard it. Good. Shit, I'm blanking. Who was the very first witness? Anyway, does it matter? We made a video about it yesterday. Go back and watch that video if you haven't seen part 1. But today, it's day 1, part 2. What the hell, man? At least the neighbor was smart from the neck up. Or was it no? The neck down. He had the head of a skater boy and shoulder down of a busy professional. This guy, that's what you're wearing to court? Why? I mean, it looks like he would have smarter clothes for the day, just a normal day. I'd make an occasion of it, I wouldn't necessarily go in a full 3-piece suit and top hat and monocle, but I'd wear a nice shirt. I'd make sure it was fucking clean and ironed. Maybe a jacket, who knows?
Thank you, sir. You can be seated. State and spell your name for the record for us.
Yeah, my name is Brandon Motes, BRANDON MOATS.
Thank you.
I think that's the first witness we've had whose name doesn't sound like a Pop-Tart flavor.
Cacciatore, you may inquire.
Good afternoon, sir. Now.
Good afternoon.
But it does, you know what his name sounds like? It sounds like a golf course. Hey, you've got to come down. You only play the public course? You've got to go to Brandon Motes. You get free golf carts with every purchase. It's a 19-hole or 18-hole. I don't play golf. I've never played golf in my life. I played miniature golf once. I don't think it was all that, But Brandon Motes, doesn't that sound like a really exclusive golf course? I think it does. You know, the kind where they have a really nice gym and a restaurant and everything like that, you know, spa, day spa. Brandon Motes, a free day of beauty with every 19th hole.
Can you tell us how it is that you knew Sarah Boone?
I moved into the apartment next door to her when I was in college.
And so when was that you were in college?
I would have moved down here in 2019 and would have been there until like 2021, 2022.
So she was your neighbor at Tealwood Apartments, is that correct?
Yeah, it would have been Tealwood back then, yeah.
And did you have any roommates back then?
Yes, I was rooming with Vincent Battaglia.
And during that
Okay. So this was a pair of students that were living together. I get it now.
time, what were you doing?
Like,
As far as work and school? And
I was just going to school. During the time of this, yeah, I would have just been going to school. I don't think I would have had my job yet. I was just a student.
And smoked a lot of weed. You know, I was just a student, 3 days a week, the rest of the time smoking weed.
Did you have much interaction with the defendant or with George Torres in this case?
Honestly, I avoided them as much as possible usually.
The apartment where you lived, tell us.
Fucking hell, this guy's looking out through the curtains every day before he goes out the house. Shit, they're still out there. We'll have to wait. I'm going to be late. I'm missing my bus right now. I'm going to have to take another day off. They won't leave the parking lot. I do not want to talk to these people. Maybe the whole complex was like that, just peering out of the windows. Shit, there they are. It's Sarah and George. They're on the way back from Publix. They're carrying 3 magnums of fucking Chardonnay each.
How would you describe the walls that separated?
So
How would you describe the walls? I'd describe them as flat, white, tall, straight.
Units.
yeah, I remember that my bedroom was like the front-facing bedroom, and our walls shared a wall with where their staircase was. So, like, the way the apartments were laid out, we had a 1-story apartment, they had a 2-story apartment. So they had a staircase running right next to the walls, next to like our bedrooms.
Would you ever have occasion to hear arguing and yelling going on inside of the defendant's apartment?
Yes, they
Tell you, man, I'm seriously worried about the state of this prosecution. It's a real pity we can't see the faces of the jury or know anything about them, really. I mean, would you have occasion? That's one of those lawyer phrases that is said a lot, but it has to be done well. Statements like, "I'll ask the questions here, Mrs. Adelson," or "No further questions, Georgia Kappelman." Those are easy. Those are great. Those are standard. But would you have occasion is boring unless you make it not boring. And you know who can make it not boring? Christopher DeCoste. Chicken Cacciatore could make what's a really exciting thing? He could make winning the lottery while on a roller coaster boring as fuck.
the walls were pretty thin, so if people were yelling, you could definitely hear it.
And how often would you hear arguments or disagreements going on over there?
When I first moved in, it was at least like once a week, to the point that I started tuning them out. Like I got good enough at just like not listening to them. They argued very, very often.
Do you recall the evening of February 23rd, 2020?
Yes, sir.
And on that evening, could you hear arguing going on in their unit?
Not late into the evening, earlier into the evening, probably like 7, 8 o'clock that evening, probably like earlier on I could hear arguing.
And where were you inside of your apartment?
I would have been in my bedroom pretty much all night.
And your bedroom, just so that we can paint the picture, where would that would it have been, on the first floor or the second floor?
We had a first floor apartment.
Okay, so all the units were, or all the bedrooms were on the first floor.
Yeah, like I was saying before, we had a 1-story apartment, and then they next door had like a 2-story townhouse. So we only had the 1 floor.
Understood. At a certain point in the evening, did you hear a loud crashing sound?
Yeah, probably around 10:30, 11 o'clock that evening.
And can you describe that sound for us in more detail?
I mean, yeah, at literally, like I said, at like 10:30, 11 o'clock, it's the way their staircase was set up. I could, my bedroom, the top of their staircase would have been like above my ceiling, and it ends next to where like my roommate's apartment was. So I could hear something start above me super loud and then fall away from me like it was falling down the stairs.
It sounded just like a man in a bag rolling down the stairs. And then just afterwards, I heard a voice coming from up that said, "You see, that's what you get. That's what you get."
Did this affect the walls that were between your two apartments?
Oh yeah, me and my roommate, I remember me and my roommate talking the next day about like we could literally, like, it shook both of our rooms.
Did you ever have a case?
So it doesn't really leave any doubt about it, does it? What else would do that? Sounds like a friggin' earthquake. Okay, they're very shitty walls. Excuse me. They're very shitty walls in this apartment complex, but, you know, there is no doubt now, right? She threw him down the stairs in the bag.
Occasion to talk with the defendant about what happened?
I never saw her after that. She would have, I never saw her after that happened.
No further questions.
Any cross-examination?
This goddamn court reporter, why doesn't she just get in the witness box with him, sit on his lap? You're in the shot, dear. Okay?
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Sir, you were asked by the state if you ever had any interactions with Sarah Boone or George Torres. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
I think you said you tried to avoid them.
Yeah, I don't like drunk people, and they were drunk a lot, so I did not interact with them.
Okay. Do you remember this interaction with Sarah Boone in 2009 when you woke up and witnessed Sarah?
I would have been 9 years old in 2009.
I'm sorry, 2019. Good catch. In 2019, when you woke up and witnessed Sarah sleeping on the concrete patio.
Oh, this may have been a slight misconception in how I said this. I never woke up and saw her sitting on the patio myself. That I would have seen her on the patio eventually, but it's not like I woke up and went back and saw her on the patio. This was my roommate relaying the story that she had fallen asleep on the back patio, and then I saw her.
Okay. So you did not witness that yourself, or did you see her?
I saw her asleep on the back patio. I was just clearing up the sequence of events there.
Okay, thank you. Another time, do you recall our interaction with Miss Boone when you were coming home from school and she was trying to talk to you and she seemed paranoid and rambling. And
Yeah, I had gotten locked out of my apartment, so I was waiting on the steps to. I was like waiting on the steps outside of my apartment for my roommate to get home. So she came up and started talking to me. I don't really remember too many like details of what she was saying because I didn't want to talk to her. She just, but yeah.
okay. Do you remember saying that you believe Sarah was avoiding going into her apartment?
That's definitely the vibe. I don't remember what she was saying, but like the vibe she was giving off was that she didn't want to go home.
Now I believe, and I just want to make sure that I heard you. You said that the first arguments, other than the boom, which was like 10.
Well, she probably got lost and couldn't remember where she lived. I mean, she was asleep on the back patio of this guy's house. Imagine that. You know, you get up in the morning, busy day at college, you're getting all your books ready, have a cup of coffee, open the kitchen curtains, and there's a body on the patio. And then you realize that it's just a sleeping drunk woman, but still kind of stirring, right?
And something. Initially, it was around 7 p.m. You heard arguing.
It would have, yeah, because it would have been. I remember that day I got home from class around 5 because I got out of class around 4:30 usually and walked home, so I would have gotten home around.
This guy, the way he talks, kind of reminds me of the way Brian Boone talks. I think drinking has always been part of her life. You know, are they local? Is that what it is? I think Brian's from Orange Park or County or something.
5:30, and it would have been after I took, because I came home, I made myself lunch and I took a shower, and then I heard all of their arguing. So it would have been about an hour and a half, 2 hours after I got home. So around 7 to 8 o'clock.
Okay. And during that time, when you say arguing, was it back and forth?
I honestly, I wouldn't really be able to say if it was back and forth. I don't know I wouldn't remember too vividly if it was back and forth. Or if it
Well,
was
let me
just
ask you
one
this.
person
Did you
yelling.
hear a male voice?
Yes, I heard a male voice.
Did you hear a female voice?
Yes.
Okay. Were they both loud?
Yes.
Okay. If I can confirm, Judge.
Yes, sir, of course.
Hey, Brian Faircloth, save the pictures, man. The old photos. You can't replace those.
Thank you, sir. I have no further questions.
Yeah, sorry to hear about your troubles, Brian. You got a canoe to hand?
Any redirect?
No, Your Honor.
Can this witness be released?
Yes, Your Honor.
Subject to recall, Judge.
All right, sir, you're released subject to recall. Thank you. Can the parties approach?
Yeah, that's right, Udi. Orange Park is up in Jacksonville. That's where Michael Dunn's son got married at the Winterbourne Inn in Orange Park on the west side of the river. We'll be covering that case real soon, guys. But I'd be willing to bet there's more than one Orange Park in Florida. They love oranges. Oh, look at Sarah organizing. She's always been a straight A student. Under the picture in her yearbook, it said most organized. What are we doing now? I think there's a break now. Yeah, there's a long, long break. So we'll skip that break. Oh, here we go.
Yes. Sir, good afternoon. You could be seated. After seat.
What the hell is he dressed up as? I mean, at least he's made an effort, not like that previous witness. What was his name? Brandon Moat.
If you could please state and spell your name for the record for us.
Brian Boone, BRIAN BOONE.
Thank you, sir. You may inquire.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
He's loving it, isn't he? He's like going one more step, and then she'll be locked away for the rest of my life. One more step in the legal process. We're almost there. This is the finish line. Goodbye, Sarah. Goodbye.
Can you tell us how it is that you,
How
sir,
happy? How fucking happy is this guy? Look at him. Let's do it again.
You could be seated. After seated, if you could please state and spell your name for the record for us.
Brian Boone, BRIAN BOONE.
Thank you, sir. You may inquire.
good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Can you tell us how it is that you know the defendant?
I dated her for quite a while, and then we eventually got married.
When you say you dated her for quite a while, how long are we talking?
I met her in the late 90s, and I believe it was around 2005 when we got married.
Did you have any children as a result of your marriage with the defendant?
Yes, we had one son.
And
I find it really peculiar when people can't remember the year that they got married. I believe it was around 2005 when we got married. Could you be any more vague? How do I spell my own name? It's BRIAN. Okay. I mean, I guess it's just nerves, right? Witness stand, cameras. The world is watching.
how old is that son?
He is currently getting ready to turn 14.
Did your marriage with the defendant last?
And no, it did not.
And approximately when was it that you separated and began proceedings for divorce?
Probably 2017, I'm thinking maybe.
And at that time, when was your divorce actually finalized?
Maybe it was 2006. I think the divorce was 2017. I believe.
And after your divorce,
I don't think so. I mean, the arrest was in 2020, and they'd been divorced for just over a year.
what was your custody arrangement with your son that you had in common with the defendant?
She was supposed to have him on Mondays and Tuesdays. I would have him Wednesday, Thursdays, and then we'd alternate Friday through Sundays every other week.
So 1 week you would have 5 days with your son, and another week she would have 5 days with him.
Correct.
And was this still the same custody arrangement in February of 2020?
Yes.
And in February of 2020, do you recall the events that occurred, I guess, first on the late evening of February 23rd, 2020?
On that evening,
Yes.
well, apparently Sarah called me at one point during the night.
Do you recall about what time she called you?
I think it was 11 something.
When you answered the phone, how did Sarah sound on the phone?
She sounded like she had been drinking, was pretty drunk.
Were you able to understand what the defendant was saying?
Somewhat, but she woke me up. I had work the next day. I was asleep when she called. She's done this before, calling me late at night, and generally I kind of just try to ignore it, so I wasn't really paying attention.
Who was she living with at the time?
George Torres?
When she called you late that evening, could you hear George in the background at all?
Not that I remember, no.
Did you pay much attention to this phone call?
No.
Now, the following morning, on February 24th, 2020, did you begin to call the defendant?
Yes, I did.
And approximately what time did you begin to call the defendant?
I think it was like 11 o'clock or something.
And why was it that you were calling her?
Well, it was going to be Monday. I had him on Sunday and dropped him off at school, and I was calling to try to find out if she was going to be actually picking him up that day.
Why would you have a question about whether or not she was picking him up?
She wasn't generally very good about actually getting him on the day she was supposed to.
So it was not uncommon for you to have to remind her to pick him up or to make sure that she was going to pick him up.
Well, I mean, remind or just.
That's an interesting point, Casey Jacobson. Casey says, anyone else notice that the prosecution hasn't asked anyone to identify the defendant? I remember the judge doing it right at the beginning, but that doesn't matter. That is interesting. That must be like a county procedure non-requirement or something.
Find out if she was going to, or if she was just going to give him over to me as what happened.
Do you remember at what time on February 24th you actually got in touch with the defendant?
I think it was like 12:30 or something.
And when you actually...
Yeah, please do leave a like on the video, guys. It costs nothing and it helps us out a great deal. If you're here and you've been here for more than 3 minutes, you owe us one like. Show me your thumb. Show me your thumb.
got in touch with her, what did she tell you on the phone?
That George was dead, and if I would come over.
Did she say what happened to him?
That George was dead and that if I would come over. Oh, George is dead. Can you come over? We need to do something about this.
I don't remember if she told me then on the phone or when I got there, but she told me they had been.
Did you notice him about the previous witness, the Brandon Moat, the way they talk? I don't know if she told me then on the phone. This sort of kind of bouncy intonation up and down all over the place, round and round. Must be Orange Park or whatever.
Playing hide and seek, and that she fell asleep.
What did you advise her to do?
I told her she needed to call 911 and that I would come over as soon as I could.
Hey, Incognito, good to see you again. You've been very incognito recently. Yeah. Nice. Welcome, Incognito.
And this is on your first phone call here at approximately 12:30.
Yes.
On 2/24/2020.
Yes.
Did she call you again while you were en route to her residence?
She did. She called to find out if I was still going to be coming over.
And when you spoke with her while you were en route, what, if anything, did you advise her?
I told her she needed to call 911 and told her I was on my way, but she needed to get somebody over there.
How long did it take you to arrive at her residence?
From the first phone call, or?
Yes, from the first one.
Well, I mean, I live a minute or two drive away, but I had to get my puppy. We had just gotten a puppy recently. I had to get him in his crate and stuff like that and put something on because I was working from home. And total time, maybe 10 minutes.
Yeah. I had to break through the wall of Mountain Dew Baja Blast that I'd stocked up. Yeah, I had to take every bottle down one by one, and then I thought, well, I can't leave these out of the fridge, so I'll have to drink them all before I go. So I sat there and I drank 45 gallons of Mountain Dew Baja Blast, put the puppy in the crate, and then took the minute drive to Sarah's house to see the dead man Torres. But I did tell her to call 911.
When you arrived at her apartment, tell us what she told you when you arrived.
George was dead, and I don't remember if she told me now or before that they had been playing hide and seek and she fell asleep. But I, at that time, told her again she needed to get 911 called to get somebody over there.
Had she called 911 at this point?
No, she had not.
So you've advised her now 3 times to call 911.
Yes.
Did you go inside?
Pie Bird, probably my favorite name on the whole chat community is Pie Bird. What is that about, Pie Bird? Please do tell. How did you come up with Pie Bird? I love it.
Of her apartment.
I walked in the front door into the little tiled area, like entranceway thing.
What, if anything, did you observe when you made it to that point?
Looking into the living room, I could see like the end of his feet and maybe a little bit of some legs that were kind of coming out around the backside of the kitchen area.
Did you continue to go into the apartment?
No.
Where did you go?
Sarah told me she was going to call.
Mary asks, why didn't Brian call 911? I wouldn't want to get involved. You know, I'd be like, Sarah, you need to call 911. You know what to tell them, and I'm not even coming in this house, okay? I'm not calling them. You call them. There's your fucking phone. Call 911. I understand that. I understand. I'm amazed that he came over.
Call 911 and go outside and have a cigarette and a drink and asked me to come out there with her. And I told her that I didn't really feel.
Have a cigarette and a drink with a man lying dead in a bag. What the hell? I mean, I've heard this said before, but never so confirmed like that. That is, imagine that. Then we'll call 911. He's dead anyway. Come out on the porch. Hey, do you want to play checkers? Just like best out of 3. Let's go. Checkers right now, you and me.
Apartment?
No.
Where did you go?
Sarah told me she was going to call 911 and go outside and have a cigarette and a drink and asked me to come out there with her. And I told her that I didn't really feel comfortable being inside. And I went out front and got in my car and waited for people to show up.
Did you witness the defendant call 911?
I think I was in there when she dialed it and first got somebody on the phone. But I wasn't there for the whole conversation. No, I was outside.
Did you stay there at the scene while police arrived?
Yes. I I was there. I was part of it. I knew I'd have to talk to somebody. So
Did you talk with law enforcement?
I did.
Your Honor, I have no further questions at this time.
Thank you. Any cross-examination?
Judge, we want to reserve our questions for when we call him in our case.
Interesting. They want to reserve questions for when they call him. Well, there wasn't really much to cross-examine there. I tell you something, I've never seen a trial, especially a murder trial, but any trial, with such. I mean, these witnesses are on the stand for like a few minutes each. We haven't had a witness go past like, I think maybe 6 minutes was the longest one so far.
Okay. All right, sir. You're subject to recall.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just as long as he remains under subpoena.
My understanding is
You know, Brian's dressed up a bit like Judge Kranig. He could be co-pilot. You know, let's go back. He also looks like a pilot. What is going on in Orange County? That's the smart way to dress, pilot style. You got to have your hair and your tie done up like that. I mean, he's co-pilot.
Reserve our questions for when we call him in our case.
okay. All right, sir. You're subject to recall.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Just as long as he remains under subpoena.
My understanding is subject to recall.
So somebody will contact me about that?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
She didn't look at him as he walked past. That's interesting.
State, you may call your next witness.
Your Honor, may we approach a moment?
Yes.
Tony. I don't know about that, Tony. I mean, how would that even work? Tony says he knew she wanted to pin it on him. She called him the night before to help her dump the body. Well, I don't think so. She had a habit of calling him. I don't think Sarah knew that George was dead until the morning. There's a bit of a gray area as to what time in the morning, but it does seem pretty clear that she woke up and found him in the bag after leaving him there all night. I mean, that makes total sense. She went upstairs, left him in the bag. Ha ha ha! He's punished. Fell asleep. That does make sense. I don't know how she would think that she could pin it on Brian. I mean, there's no possible way. She had a habit of calling Brian late at night as a sort of, you know, escape or a release after fighting with George. I think this part of the story is pretty kosher style. Derek, pilots can be big. I mean, he's pretty big. He'd way down the plane. We've got a problem with the left wing. Oh no, it's Brian. Brian, can you sit in the middle? We're tilting. Sidebar.
The state attaches a Bluetooth speaker so that they may publish some evidence that's been received so far. Mr. J, whenever you're ready, sir.
Permission to publish 3.
You may do so.
It's 300 minutes. Call on Monday.
February 24th, 2020.
911, what is the location of the emergency? 4748 Frank Court, apartment 3. 4748, what's the street name? Frantz, Frantz. And the appointment number? 3. Is this a police or medical? My boyfriend is dead. Okay, send a line for the fire department, do not hang up.
It was alimony as well, riding shotgun.
Location, Mercy.
That's better. No, please don't leave. 4748 Frantz Lane, apartment 3. Frantz Court. Frantz Court? Yes.
Okay, is this near Mackenzie Drive?
Yeah, where the hell did she get Lane from? If you're gonna confuse any word, it would be France. You know, is it France, like the country, or is it Franz, like the name? God, that'd be so annoying to have in your address a word that can be spelled, you know, 2 different ways, and the pronunciation's the same. Every time you give your address, you've got to say that's France, Franz.
I don't know where that is. It's still with her apartment.
Okay, 4748 France, correct?
Correct.
All right, correct. Now tell me exactly what happened there.
My boyfriend and I were playing last night, and I couldn't even escape when we were playing. And, but kind of had to.
Oh, sorry to keep interrupting. I know some people hate that. But Shiloh Gal says, why didn't the state question Brian about the violence Sarah inflicted on him to establish a pattern that Sarah was violent before George? Yeah, well, why didn't the state do a lot of things? Why was the state's opening so shit and 50% of it completely inaudible because he wasn't anywhere near a microphone? I mean, I'm worried about this prosecution, you know? If it was just on the... If we were just judging this on the 2 opening statements so far, I'd say the defense is winning. Obviously, we've got a lot of witnesses to get through, and Sarah's yet to testify herself, of course. And then there's closing arguments. But yeah, I don't think the state is doing well at all, and I didn't expect them to. You know, I was a little bit relieved when during the motions hearings running up to the trial to see Mr. J take the reins, because he seemed to establish himself as a little bit more of a fluent individual than Mr. Chicken over there. But judging from his opening statement, they're pretty much the same. Just not cut out for the job, really. I'm amazed that they've been assigned this case. And surely the county must have a prosecutor that's better than either of them.
So I fell asleep, and I woke up, and he was studying the case. So I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened.
Right, okay, what's your apartment number?
3.
Apartment 3?
Yeah, it's like he had like blood coming out of his mouth, and I don't know, like he had like an aneurysm on what happened.
Right, okay, all right, okay, listen, we're getting out of 13. All right, okay. Okay,
Now?
Yeah, good catch again, Casey. That's unusual also, isn't it? Casey says, hang on, is this a recording being played with no witness on the stand? It is, yeah. That doesn't normally happen, does it? That's just showing evidence. I mean, you could do that in opening statement, but usually this, audio or video evidence is not just presented to the jury, it's shown to a witness for context. What is going on? They've got different rules in Orange County or what? I mean, am I completely wrong? Is that not a rule? I'm just thinking of every trial I've ever seen ever in any state, and there's this sort of evidence comes in to a witness. You know?
Okay, yeah, man, this is, we're on our way up there. Yeah, 407-716-8684. Okay, you hanging from somewhere or what, man?
No, I pulled him out of the suitcase. I tried giving him CPR.
Okay, so he was in a suitcase?
Yes, and I fell asleep.
Okay, how old is he working there? 42-year-old man. All right. Okay, we're setting up on the sheriff's office out there?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, okay. All right, listen to me. Okay, that you need to confirm this one. No, right, I just need to confirm this. Is he awake at all? Is he conscious at all?
No, he's purple.
Is he breathing?
No.
All right. I need you to get him on the floor, flat on his back for me, okay?
I did. I tried giving him CPR.
All right.
I tried giving him CPR.
Yeah, okay, well,
Nothing happened. He's purple.
okay, listen, he's in the refrigerator, I need you to get it for me, okay?
What is it?
Is he available?
No.
All right, are you right by him now?
I'm sorry?
Are you right by him now?
Yes.
Okay, let me flat okay, ma'am, listen, so this is he cold and stiff?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, it's not necessarily cold, but it's stiff. And
Right, okay. All right, listen to me. Listen, I want.
How the hell would she know for sure if there's not an AED around available in the entire apartment complex or the gas station across the road, you know? I mean, she spent the last 3 years just walking around there drunk, sleeping on her neighbors' patios, you know? She's not looking around for AEDs usually. I'm willing to bet she's not the most observant person when she's trudging up and down to Publix carrying back Magnum bottles of Chardonnay from the Woodbridge Winery. Doesn't it sound so posh if you put winery after it? The Woodbridge Winery. 3 generations of Woodbridges have stomped the grapes that went into this bottle, you know. How exclusive. Yeah, it's $6.99 for a Magnum.
You lay him flat on his back for me on the floor.
I did.
Removing the pillows, okay.
Yes, I did.
All right, okay.
He's stiff and purple.
Right, okay, listen, okay, man, that's fine. We're still going to put compression to him, okay? All right? If you look your hand on his breastbone, right in center of the chest, right between the nipples.
Yes.
Put your hands up on that hand.
Baby, I'm telling you. There's somebody that can tell.
Okay.
Please, okay, your girdle.
Okay, listen to me. All right, I want you to place the heel of your hand. Okay, right between his chest, right between his breastbones.
Yes.
Put your other hands up on that hand.
Yes.
We want to pump his chest to be hard and fast.
The dispatcher is on the stand. I didn't see him come up. I mean, maybe because we had to skip because of the sidebar. So maybe. But then why aren't they filming them?
Twice per second.
Okay, again.
Okay, no, just keep on pumping. That's all you need to do for me. Keep on pumping his chest for me. I don't need you to stop or talk or anything. I just want you to count out loud for me, okay?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
It's so funny because that's the same count that you do for hide and seek, isn't it? Count to 30 and then come look for me. 1, 2, 3. I mean, when you're pumping someone's chest, you just do rounds of counting to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You know, you don't just count up indefinitely to some high number. 39, 40, 41, 42, 43. What use is that? There's not like a certain number you need to get to. It's just the beat. It's just the beat. You count in 4s.
8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. This is nice to me.
Okay, man, just keep on pumping his chest. That's all you need to do for me, okay?
Yeah, Veronica. 0 extortion. Oh, exertion? Extortion just reminds me of Katie McBanawa. No. She extorted me. Yeah, she came to my house and said Sigfredo Garcia ran his mouth to the Latin King. And the Latin King said, we've got a plan to kill Professor Markel and take the dentist money. Okay? So we drive to Tallahassee, we come back, and then we take dentist money from extortion plan. Okay? Exertion. Yeah, there's no exertion in her in her voice at all. She's just holding the phone, probably got one finger on his chest, doing nothing. If you're on the phone with a trained professional that's saying, okay, lie him flat on his back, move away any pillows or cushions. Okay, now pump his chest and count. Pump his chest. You're going to give it all you've got, right? You're trying to start this guy's heart. She's like 22, 23, 24. It's ridiculous.
Come on, please, hurry up.
Okay, ma'am, they're driving here as fast as they can. Okay, don't stop to say hurry up. Just keep on pumping and counting.
I'm still doing it while I'm pumping, okay?
Okay.
Still doing it.
All right, just continue pumping the chest. Count on the second count with you.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19.
Yeah, that's right, Casey. The beat that you're supposed to do it to start someone's heart is exactly the same as the Bee Gees song Staying Alive. That's funny, isn't it?
20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. Please hurry.
Okay, ma'am, they're getting
So funny that it just sounds like she's playing hide and seek. She's it, and she's giving the person time to hide, and that they count to 30.
here as fast as they can, okay?
He's there and he's purple.
Okay. Begin pumping his chest for me, ma'am.
I'm still doing it, okay? Still doing it. Still doing it.
Right, okay, that's fine. You did the job. Just keep on doing it for me. All right, they're getting there as fast as they can, along with the sheriff's office also, okay?
Please.
Keep on pumping, man. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep on pumping for me, man.
I'm not doing it. Believe me, I'm doing it, okay? We're playing hide and seek.
All right, I understand. All right, just keep on pumping for me, okay? Okay.
Please hurry.
All right, okay.
Horrible. This is horrific. What's happening?
Yeah, right, Anne. Anne, who says, how is no one else absolutely baffled by the fact that these two adults hang out together by playing hide and go seek? What the fuck? I have never heard of this, drunk or not. Yeah, especially, in a small townhouse where there's basically one room upstairs, one room downstairs with a kitchenette, right? I mean, there's behind the shower curtain and under the coffee table. That's it. Even if they were in a mansion with 18 bedrooms and 15 bathrooms and a west wing, it wouldn't be fun. It wouldn't be fun at all. I don't know. I don't think it ever happened. I think possibly they were playing hide and seek with Lucas around. And we have that picture of Lucas in a suitcase. So maybe her drunk skunk brain just went suitcase, suitcase. Okay, who gets in a suitcase? Lucas. What does Lucas like to do? Play hide and seek. That'll be my excuse. I'll say we were having a good day with the puzzles, painting, and then played hide and seek. Maybe that's it. It was so funny when Detective Chelsea in the interview said, and you mentioned you were playing hide and seek. So is this like a regular appointment between you? Or you said you'd played hide and seek maybe 3 times in your relationship. I bet all of those times were with Lucas as well, right?
Like, what happened?
And you know that when George and Sarah play hide and seek with Lucas, they just do it so that he goes and hides and they have a drink. And Lucas thinks he's done a really good job at hiding. They're in the kitchen slugging down the Chardonnay, right? Shouting out, "We're coming to get you!" Glug, 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 glug. "We're finding you! We're getting warm!" Glug, 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 glug. You know, it's... They've got like 5 or 10 minutes to kill before they finally go where he obviously is, behind the fucking shower curtain, because there's nowhere else to hide in a small townhouse. It's just an excuse so they can buy time and drink. We've got to entertain the kid and drink at the same time. I know. We'll send him to hide for ages, and he'll think he was really clever. It's a win-win.
Okay, man, keep on pumping the chest for me, okay? They're in the parking lot. They should be up there shortly, okay?
I'm still doing it, okay?
Okay, good. And you found them in a suitcase, you said?
Yes. We were playing hide and seek last night. I fell asleep. I think they're here.
Right, just keep on pumping the chest until they finish over,
I
okay?
am.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Okay, come in. There's not coming out.
Let that take over for you, okay?
When was the last time anybody saw him? The last night. We were playing hide and seek. He was in the kitchen. Okay. But unfortunately, he's been down too long to try to keep recording. Hello, ma'am.
And so we're there, obviously.
Alright. I'm trying to speak your word. Okay. Is there anything medical? No, not that.
Yeah, not that I know of. Ish. Right? Give or take. Not that I know of, give or take, ish. No medical problems, ish. Yeah, it could be an aneurysm, though. Hopefully it was an aneurysm. Could you confirm right now that it was natural causes and that he would have died had he not been in a suitcase? That would be great. Will the autopsy show that, please?
Hey, man, the doctor's going to take care of you, okay? Yeah, so we'll see you there.
All right. Oh, ma'am, still there? Hello? Contact 407-716-8684, reference woman. 1308.
Ah, thank you for the kind comment, Destined Nation. Yeah, it doesn't seem anyone's on the stand to me.
we're ready to continue with the presentation of witnesses.
Yes, sir. You may call your next witness.
State we call Abraham Moreno.
Mr. Moreno, raise your right hand and swear, please.
Who's this guy? He's from Mortal Kombat, isn't he? That's a Mortal Kombat character. A Street Fighter. What's going to be his special move? I swear that's a Mortal Kombat like trademark. Just a single thin ponytail coming from the top of his head. That's a Mortal Kombat character.
Mr. Moreno, raise your right hand and swear, please. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I affirm. Sir, good afternoon. Could you state?
I affirm. Oh, he did this in the. He refuses to swear, to say swear. So he says, "I affirm." He did that. I don't even know who he is yet, but I remember someone doing that in the audio interviews from Detective Chelsea when they were running around the day of.
State and spell your name for the record for us.
Abraham, Abraham, last name is Moreno, Moreno.
Thank you, sir. You may be seated. Mr. Castro, you may inquire.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Tell us, what do you do for a living?
I'm a maintenance supervisor for apartment complexes.
Is that what your position was back in February of 2020?
Yes, it was.
And what apartment complex?
Tealwood Park Apartments.
And how long did you work for Tealwood Park Apartments?
About 2 years.
And tell us, what were some of your duties in your position there with Tealwood Park?
Daily, I cleaned the grounds, walked the property, answered maintenance calls, did emergencies, dealt with vendors.
Did you become familiar with the residents there at the apartment complex?
Yes.
Did you have occasion to meet the defendant in this case and also a George Torres?
Yes.
Let me turn your attention to February 24th of 2020. Do you recall that date?
Yes.
And on that date, did you have occasion to come in contact with the defendant in this case?
Yes, I did.
And tell us, what was the circumstances in which you came into contact with her on February 24th, 2020?
I was called by the manager and the assistant manager to come to her unit. I believe she was already sitting outside at that time.
And when she was sitting outside of her unit, what, if anything, did you observe about her and about the unit?
The police was there. Her ex-husband was present. She was sitting outside, and that's when she decided she wanted to talk to me and the managers.
And what did she tell you?
That she's confused. She's not exactly sure what happened. She pointed out that she recalls that they were playing a game of hide and seek. There was an instance where she was going to teach him a lesson, and then she just doesn't recall anything else until the next morning.
Did she say she fell asleep?
Yes, she did.
Did she say things got out of hand?
I don't really recall that part, but I do recall her stating that they were playing their game and that George went into a suitcase, and I didn't ask any questions. I just let her talk for herself.
How long was this conversation?
For about 4 or 5 minutes.
Your Honor, I have no further questions at this time.
Any cross-examination?
Yes, sir.
You may inquire, sir.
Yeah, who said that? Veronica. Veronica really dislikes what if anything questions. Do you remember when Miss was it Miss Brederhoff, Amber Heard's lawyer, female lawyer? She thought that what if anything was a cure-all to any objection. You know? Oh, that was hilarious. You know, that was really funny. And she was getting so stressed. She was getting objected so much, and those objections were getting sustained so much that it completely derailed her plan. And she was just stood at the podium looking to the ceiling going, what am I going to fucking do now? I have no backup. We got to cover some Johnny and Amber soon, guys.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Just before we move on to cross-examination, a reminder, guys, if you're here, if you're liking the show, please do leave a like on the video, subscribe, share, leave a comment. And if you would like to support the channel, there are multiple ways you can do that. You can leave us a super like, super chat, super thanks, super sticker, or the best way, the great way, the winning way to support the channel is to go to the description for this video, click the link for buymeacoffee.com and buyusacoffee.com. Okay? Keeps the lights on, keeps us busy, keeps us expanding our empire here at the True Crime Metrix Studio universe. Buymeacoffee.com and also Patreon memberships now. Merchandise in the merch store. That's merch.truecrimemetrics.com. Fantastic merch products there. But if you're not in the mood for any merch now and you just want to support the channel in a meaningful way, in a great way, in a winning way, buymeacoffee.com is the best place to do that. Link in the description, guys. Thank you so much. And also links in the description to social network, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Discord. What else have we got? Email. Send us emails. truecrimemetrics@gmail.com. We love your emails. They're fantastic. They are so nice, those emails. Okay. Thank you, guys.
This conversation that you had with Miss Boone,
Yes.
that took place on the 24th. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah, you can become a member on the YouTube channel, right? And that's a good point. I forgot to mention memberships. We got memberships on YouTube, memberships on Patreon, and memberships on buymeacoffee.com right here, right now. Look, link in the description. Just goes, oh yeah, straight over there. Look, fantastic members. Where's memberships? We got memberships right up here. Addicted, obsessed, possessed, benefits, lifetime memberships available too. Where's the lifetime membership? The fantastic lifetime membership. How many lifetime supporters have we got right now? We've got 2, and I think we can get another 2 before Christmas. Lifetime access to benefits. Wow. Just imagine that. Imagine the security that would bring you, the peace that would bring into your life. That is fantastic. Okay, back to the show.
And who else was present on the time that the conversation was taking place?
Standing right next to me would have been Melissa Sexton and Eugene Harris, as well as the officer who was in front of the door.
Okay. So there was a law enforcement officer there that day. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. Now, on the 24th is when you said that Miss Boone made this statement to you. Is that correct?
Yes.
They were playing hide and seek.
Yes.
And what else did she say happened?
She had told me they were playing hide and seek. They had drank. She was trying to teach him a lesson, and that was that. She went upstairs. She went to sleep. She woke up. She doesn't know what happened.
Okay. So that was on the 24th.
Yes.
All right. On the 26th, were you not interviewed by law enforcement?
Yes.
Okay. So
I may have my days wrong, but it all happened on the same day.
all right, the 24th, do you remember 2 days later that a Detective Scott Lowen conducted an interview with you at 4704 Lucier Court, Winter Park, Florida? You remember that interview?
Yes.
So that was 2 days later, is that correct?
I would assume so.
Yes. All right, so when he interviewed you 2 days later, did you tell him about this statement that Ms. Boone made to you that you just told this jury in court?
I did mention it to him.
You did mention it to him?
I mentioned to them that we did have a conversation.
Did you tell him the content of the conversation?
I may not have told him the whole content, but I did tell him we had a conversation.
All right, well, what did you tell him? What content did you tell him on the 26th?
That they were playing hide and seek, that she was confused, she doesn't know what happened. I do believe I did mention to him the fact that she had said that she was trying to teach him a lesson. Not that anything was done with malice. I didn't state that at all.
Okay. So it's your...
Kim, Soap, where is your trumpet? Where is your trumpet? Announce the arrival. Kim, welcome. Good to see you, Kim.
You told Officer Lowen what you just told this jury. Is that correct?
Yeah.
All right. Sir. In preparing for this case, did you have a meeting with the Assistant State Attorney on September 23rd of 2024?
Did I have a meeting?
Yes.
A brief chit chat over the phone.
A brief chit chat. It was over the phone?
Yes, sir.
All right. At that point in time over the phone, did you tell him that Sarah Boone, the defendant, stated that she was teaching him a lesson and things got out of hand and that she fell asleep? And that was in 2024 of September the 23rd of this year, 2024.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Are you telling us that back on February the 26th of 2020, you told Officer Lowen at that time?
Carrie Sue's just brought an interesting bit of information our way. Carrie Sue says, did you know that one of the jurors is a victim of DV awaiting trial for her ex-husband? Is that good or bad? I'd say that's, well, good or bad is depends on where you're sitting, right? I'd say that helps the defense. It's good for Sarah. Yeah, I think that's good for Sarah. Or is it? Maybe it's not. That's an interesting question. Maybe because this woman that's on the jury awaiting trial for her ex-husband, who we assume was the perpetrator of the DV against the juror, her, maybe she'll see through Sarah's bullshit and go, no. That's not how you would react in a real situation because I was in one. You know, maybe it will work against her. Interesting question, Carrie Sue. How do you know this information, Carrie Sue? Is it a checked fact, a verified fact?
Same thing.
As I recall, yes.
Yeah, Casey says DV is not gender-based. Believe me, I know.
So did she ever tell you how things got out of hand?
No.
Sir, you testified that you knew both Mr. Torres and Miss Boone. Is that correct?
Yes.
You actually knew George Torres from a different time, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
When did you first know George Torres?
In the 1990s.
In the 1990s?
He was a teenager and he lived down the street from me and my wife.
So you had had a previous relationship with Mr. Torres?
No, not at all.
Not at all. You just knew him from then?
Yes, as I stated, he was a teenager and I was an adult.
Okay. During this time, though, that you became reacquainted with him, did y'all establish a friendship?
Well, there's not a huge age difference. This guy's not more than 51. Is he? Can we zoom in? He's not 60, is he? I mean, you know, there can't be more than 5 years. I mean, he could be 52, he could be 54, maybe, at a push. If he's 54, I'd say he's looking pretty good. Right? They could have been buddies.
At that time here in Orlando?
I wouldn't say a friendship, but an acquaintance, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, right, Casey. Didn't you hear me say before when this first happened and I first saw the Sarah Boone video of the George in the suitcase? I showed it to my girlfriend at the time and I said, look, this could have happened to us. You could have done this to me. She agreed.
Sir, on Monday, February the 24th, that would have been the day that you were with Miss Sexton and Gene Harris
Yes,
out in front of the apartment.
correct.
Did you talk to law enforcement that day?
No,
You did not talk to them that day?
I don't recall talking to him that day, no.
Okay. Thank you, sir. I don't have any, if I can confer.
You can, sir.
Thank you, sir. I don't have any further questions.
Any redirect examination?
Just brief.
All right, thank you.
Back in the 90s, when you
Yeah, right. Destined Nation. George was 42 when he died, which was almost 5 years ago. So he would be 47 now. And obviously this guy has take George's age now as 47. And this guy's not a day over 52. Come on, he's probably 51. But he makes this big deal of like, he was a teenager, I was an adult. What does that mean? George was 19 and he was 23? You know, I just, not that I think he's lying or anything. I just thought it was funny that he was making such a distinction. I mean, it was like he was talking about a huge age difference. It's like George was 6 years old and I was 28. So what business would I have of a friendship, you know?
you had previously known George Torres in this case, where were you living at that time?
I lived across the street. I lived on one block. He lived the next block over down in the middle.
In what city?
Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
And when did you move from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania?
2018, I believe.
So in the intervening years, from your move from Philadelphia to coming to work at Tealwood Park, did you have any contact with George Torres?
No, as a matter of fact, I moved from that particular block in 2005. So I don't meet George again until I work at Tealwoods.
When did you start working at Tealwoods?
2018, 2019, roughly there.
No further questions.
Can this witness be released?
No, Your Honor, just subject to recall.
All right, sir. You'll be released subject to recall. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
State, call your next witness.
State would call Deputy Kayla Rodriguez.
Jake, this is one of the big mysteries of the courtroom. Nobody knows what those 4 people are doing to either side of the judge up there. Are they students? Are they bodyguards? It's unclear. And they're standing up for the whole day. I mean, what is that? We're getting a lot of firsts in this courtroom today. There's been no confirming the identity of the defendant. There's been audio evidence played on its own, not to a witness, and we've got these 4 henchmen by the judge. It's really weird.
Raise your right hand, please. Sworn to swear or affirm that the testimony you
Oh, I really liked this cop in the video. She was very, very good, I think, at her job. You know, she secured the scene and de-escalated the situation, just talked in a light, friendly, calm tone. Very good.
shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. Yes.
Good afternoon, ma'am. You could be seated. Please state your name and spell it for the record if you could for us.
Kayla Rodriguez. Kayla, K-A-Y-L-A. Rodriguez, R-O-D-R-I-G-U-E-Z.
All right, thank you. Mr. Cacciatore, you may inquire.
She looks really young here. She was a cop 5 years ago. She looks really young here. Looking good, Kayla.
Good afternoon, ma'am.
Hi.
Can you tell us who is that you work for?
Orange County Sheriff's Office.
And what is your position with the Orange County Sheriff's Office?
Deputy Sheriff.
And how long have you been a deputy sheriff?
A little over 8 years, since 2016.
And tell us, what are your duties as a deputy sheriff?
As a deputy, I respond to calls for service, anything from a over with call, like a car being keyed the day prior, or a 911 emergency.
And what type of training do you need to be a deputy sheriff?
So for me, I obtained my bachelor's degree from UCF in criminal justice in 2014. After that, in 2016, I was hired by the sheriff's office. Right after being hired, I went straight into the academy. The academy is 5 months of training. We go over everything from case law, scenarios, defensive tactics, physical training. After that, I do 2 more months with the sheriff's office where we go specifically into policy related to Orange County specifically. After that, I do 3 months on the road with a trainer where we are evaluated periodically through that process. You have a partner, you respond to calls for service during that time, and you slowly learn how to handle calls by yourself.
Do you also undergo continuing training as a condition of your employment?
Yes.
Tell us.
I know, right, Casey, isn't she? She's like Queen Nefertiti, you know.
What were you working on February 24th, 2020?
Yes.
And tell us, what area of the county were you working in?
Orange County, unincorporated Orange County.
And did you receive a call in regards to this case?
Yes.
I'll back that up right here. Look, here's Queen Nefertiti. Now, if you put the hat on this woman, it would be like looking in a mirror. Right? I mean, if you carved her out of stone, it would be the same thing.
And what was that call? What information did you have at the time you received the call?
So the dispatcher informed me that a woman called 911. She was actively performing CPR and that her boyfriend was in a suitcase.
And did you respond out to the scene?
Yes.
And when you responded out to the scene, were you dressed similarly as you are dressed today?
Yes.
And just for the record, you have, it looks like a standard green uniform on with a tool belt, your firearm, and also.
It's not a tool belt. She's not in roofing. Yeah, there's more in that belt than a measuring tape and a claw hammer. Okay, it's a, what do you call it? Utility belt. It's not a tool belt. She's not a carpenter or a cabinet maker, you know.
Also, radio, body-worn camera, badge.
Yes.
Tell us about your body-worn camera.
So my body camera is used to capture scenes when we arrive. So as we are conducting any sort of law enforcement action, we turn our camera on.
When you turn your camera on, tell us, does it immediately capture sound at that point?
It does not. When we activate our camera, it goes back a minute. And the minute that it goes back to, you don't hear any audio.
Thanks for letting us know that, Kim. You see, I didn't see the beginning. We went straight into openings. The judge is a teacher, and those people are watching him for educational purposes. He said it at the beginning. Good catch, Kim. You see, that's why you're here, Kim, for the facts.
Audio for that first minute.
Tell us also about the capacity and the battery life of your camera as well.
So the battery will last us an entire shift typically if it's in a buffering mode. So if we're not recording, it will last the entire shift. As we record, it does drain the battery. So typically we will turn it off if we're sitting in our car for an extended period of time, if we call our supervisor, if we're talking to another deputy on the side, away from a scene, we will not have the camera recording. If it recorded throughout the entire shift, the battery would die. We would need multiple batteries.
So you actually activate the camera in order to begin recording?
Correct.
Was your body camera operational on this call out?
Yes.
A duty belt. Yeah, that sounds right. I can't believe he said tool belt. It's so obviously wrong.
Your Honor, may I approach the witness which has been previously marked for identification as states H, I, and G that have been shown to defense?
You may.
Ma'am, I'm first showing you what's been marked for identification as states I. Do you recognize that disc?
Yes.
Did you have an opportunity?
I'd love to give him a break, Casey. You know, a good 3 months detoxing in a good paid rehabilitation center, you know, where he can get the help he needs, you know.
To review that disc prior to coming to court today.
Yes.
And tell us, what is that disc?
Body worn camera from the day of the incident.
From February 24, 2020?
Correct.
And is that your initials on the disc?
Yes.
And does that disc fairly and accurately represent the contents of your body-worn camera?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time, I'd like to move what's previously been marked for identification as states I into evidence.
Any objections?
No objection.
All right, what was pre-marked as I will be received into evidence without objection as states 4.
Ma'am, next I'm showing you what's been marked for identification as states H. Can you take a look at that disc?
Body worn camera from the day of the incident.
From February 24th, 2020?
Yes.
And did you have an opportunity to review that disc prior to coming to court today?
Yes.
And is that your initials on the disc?
Yes.
And does that disc fairly and accurately represent the contents of that portion of your body worn camera from that day?
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time, I'd like to move what's been marked for identification as states H into evidence.
No objection to any of those coming in.
What was pre-marked as states H will be received without objection as states 5.
And lastly, ma'am, I'm showing you what's been marked for identification as states G. Do you recognize this disc?
Yes.
And tell us, what is that disc?
Body worn camera from the day of the incident.
From February 24th, 2020?
Yes.
And you had an opportunity to review this.
Yeah, they're students and they're working under the judge, learning.
Camera prior to coming to court,
Yes.
and that's your initials on the disc,
Yes.
and it fairly and accurately represents your conduct on the body-worn camera.
Yes.
Your Honor, at this time, I'd like to move what's been marked for identification as states G into evidence.
No objection.
Thank you. What was pre-marked as states G will be received without objection as state 6.
In your Honor, request permission to publish states 4.
You may.
Your Honor, may we dim the lights and use the overhead projector?
Yes.
Hello there. You live here? Okay, I'll talk to you guys.
I feel like we should just watch the original. Does it play straight or are there pauses? I'm going to cut all this in, guys, at some point. Tomorrow, maybe. We're going to have the best Sarah Boone playlist on YouTube. Subtitles. Real video.
That's my, the property manager. I don't know if that's still. Tell him really quick, or we'll take care of that. Where's, yeah. You want that in? Oh, don't worry about that. We'll take care of that for you, okay? I had a cigarette, okay, wait 1 second, okay? I really need something to drink. Okay, well, I got my dog parked on the counter. Okay, we'll take care of you. 1 second. At the time. You called it? Yeah. You got time to call it? Okay, perfect.
Vivian! Welcome, Vivian. Good to see you.
20, go ahead. 7 at 13, 07. Can't go back to that. What's going on? Who is he to you? Boyfriend? Yes, because for like 3.5 years. What happened? We drank last night and had a police pass this to the around to the FBI stuff. They need to sign that, sure. They're with me. No. Each of them has to. This might be a real thing, but each of them has to put their name.
Normally we always, I just put everybody. Yeah, you know,
What's going on? I just got here to fill me in. No problem. Like, puzzle together, we can do some artwork together. You were putting a puzzle together? Yes, we have a puzzle that we started in there. Okay. We've been doing art, trying to pull stuff off the wall to make You are kind of there, like having a good time with one another. But we were drinking, we had a bottle of wine last night. Okay. So then it's like, we decided to play hide and seek, right? Okay.
Correction, we had 2 giant, big fuck-off bottles of wine, at least. And some secret vodka that you'll never find. You know, we had 2 humongous, massive bottles of wine. Double barrel bottles each.
So it's in the suitcase. Okay. That's my assistant. My former husband. Hi. You live here with you guys? No. I told him over here. Okay. I didn't know what to do. Okay. I didn't know what to do. Okay. So then he came over here. Here, let's talk inside. Okay. I called you guys.
Hey, thanks for the coffee, Kim. Much appreciated.
The problem is I fell asleep. When did you do CPR? This morning. When I found it before you called. Yeah. 1 o'clock right now. I tried. I was awake, but I actually got out of the bed at like 12:30-ish. So I came downstairs and I was like, oh, he's in the suitcase still. That's when I found him and I took him out and I tried doing CPR and then I called him and then I called you guys. Did he get here before the fire department got here? Who? The husband? Or your ex-husband? Okay. Where'd you live at? Right on the street. Okay. So you were playing and who did come up there? I did, but then I fell asleep. Okay. Well, you're okay. I wasn't there. I'm just trying to figure out what happened. Like having aneurysm or a heart attack or what? Medical condition. None that I know of. No. All we had was a bottle of wine. Literally, just a bottle of wine. Okay. Doing puzzles, artwork. Then we decided to play hide and seek. That's all that happened. Okay. So I was never had a attack or what in there. Like, I don't know what happened. So how long were you doing CPR on him prior to calling 911? You tried that all morning? Yes. Okay. And then I told him while I was did you start probably doing your what ballpark? Here, let me fill this back in, okay? Please, ma'am, I got the pepper. I am still cutting out right now. Ma'am, and you can't talk to him until we get down with paper, okay? Just don't leave, okay, Brian? Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate it. Thank you. I know. Do me a favor. Stand over there by that car. Give me 1 second. There's a dog in there? Yeah. You want to help clear the back bedrooms real quick? Just make sure there's nobody else in here? Is he here by himself? Nope, he was here with the girlfriend, and that's the girlfriend's ex-husband. He was gonna see it. They were playing out, but this is what she said. She's been doing CPR on him all morning before calling us. Yep. So I'm gonna go ahead and start making phone calls. Okay, go ahead. What do I do with this dog? 'Cause I don't want him to mess with him. Come here. Oh, perfect. Okay. Yes. Hey, come on, let's go outside. Come on.
Good boy.
What's wrong, Bobby? You think about that? But you just want to make sure. I put my foot on. Touch anything.
Orange County.
Yes, Bobby. Right over here. Let me check this closet.
I never saw this part of the body cam before. Upstairs in Sarah's house. It kind of looks more organized than I imagined.
I guess we're gonna have to set up a crime scene now.
Just give us a second, okay? It's on the camera. I can't move it. You can come out of the house. Here. let's get you down, because I don't want you passing out. This is probably a lot for you to deal with, right? Water. I can get you some water, okay? Just, I want you not on your feet. I don't want you passing out. I need to find water. Okay, I'll get some for you. He's trying to put it on.
Your Honor, request permission to publish States 5.
You may proceed.
Let's go ahead and start making the calls. Now, could you go ahead and give me his last name, Torres? Spell it for me. Torres. And his first name? George, Jorge. Jorge. O-R-G-E. His birthday? 2/13/78. And this is the boyfriend? Yes. How long? 3.5 years. Living together that whole time? Yes. Okay. And your last name? Boone. Spell it. B-O-O-N-E. First name? Sarah. S-A-R-A-H. Birth date? 10/10/77. So you kind of start to kind of collect yourself. Tell it to me again. You guys were playing last?
That may have been the first time we ever heard 10/10/77.
Night, drinking a bottle of wine, putting us together, doing artwork, puzzles, artwork. They had a bottle of wine and they decided to play hide and seek. So he what time was that? Do you remember? I mean, I know that I was in bed probably by like what, 12:30? Okay. Well, I went upstairs at least and I fell asleep, forgetting that he was in the suitcase.
Playing the hide and go.
Yes.
And at some point you put him in the suitcase?
No, he got in the suitcase. So he thought it would be funny to be put in the suitcase. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to joke with you and I'll dig you up and make him, squirm a little bit, whatever it is. But then I fell asleep.
Where was
Squirm a little bit, whatever it is. What it was, Sarah, is a sadistic punishment that you had laid out for George, especially to punish him for everything he'd ever done to you, for cheating on you, for choking you, make him squirm a little bit, whatever it is. Well, now it's murder, Sarah. Yeah. And we're listening to you speak now at your murder trial in front of your jury. Okay. That's whatever it is. Okay.
Right where it is.
right down there?
Yes.
You get him in there.
Yes.
You find a little.
It was. We both were laughing about it.
Okay.
And then I fell asleep.
Where did you fall asleep at?
Upstairs.
In your bedroom?
Yes.
Okay.
Totally forgetting that he was in the suitcase still.
Okay. And then you came back downstairs?
This morning, or this afternoon, yes, when I got up.
What time?
12:30-ish. I was awake, but I totally forgot that he was in the suitcase. He can tell you there's a lot of things that I/we can go jobs.
Yeah, he did tell me.
But all that good stuff. So I just totally forgot.
You began to do CPR on him?
Yes. Yes.
About what time this morning did you start doing that CPR?
No, it was the afternoon. This afternoon because I was awake. Whatever it is, and I was like, he wasn't moving, nothing was happening, so I unzipped it, took him out and started doing CPR on him. He was on his way over here. I called you when he got here.
Once he got here, you called?
Yes.
Okay.
And air was coming out, and he was gurgling, but I could tell by looking at him.
But you had to do CPR, you were doing that on your own?
Yes. Okay. And then the person that was on the phone with me also, I counted with him doing. And he's got no medical. He doesn't take any medication. I don't know. Like I don't know medical wise.
Yeah, I did it on my own hours ago, and then when I finally called the operator and the person on the phone was I was pretending to do it then as well. But I knew that there was no point because he'd been on the floor for 6 hours while I was cleaning up. Maybe.
Like, I know he doesn't take any medications whatsoever. The only thing, like I said, I don't know if alcohol has to do with it, but we had a bottle of wine. Okay, all right. Here, I want you to sit back down.
A giant, enormous bottle of wine each.
Can I have one more sip of water? Yes, go on. That personal 29 residential audible 130 I'll do what I can to get you a.
I love how she's drinking out of the garden hose or whatever it is. It's so fitting. She just needs an I'm with stupid t-shirt.
I don't want you to have to keep doing that. The cups are like right there. Right here, don't talk to the ex-husband right now. I won't. Can I have a cigarette, please? Ma'am, I can't take anything out of the house. It's on the back porch. Nope, all of it, secure, okay? I'll try my best to get you what you need, okay? Maybe one of these extra packs from someone, sit down and I'll try and get you what you need, okay? Just cut, please. Okay. I don't want you on your feet. Yes, you put him on the second. He came back in? So there's no fence then? Corporal, I can give you a rundown? She's, sitting on the curb, I was getting ready to call you guys. Yeah. Want to talk over here?
Your Honor, request permission to publish State 6.
You may do so.
Yeah, absolutely, Anne. I caught that as well. You know, she's just so in the habit of covering her mouth when she's talking to people because she knows that you could smell the booze on her breath from fucking 10 yards away. Easy, you know. That's her thing. Covering your mouth.
Hey, Sarah. You get enough water? No, if you want to stay seated, I don't want you getting lightheaded. So remember I said the detectives were gonna come out and talk to you and go from there. You know what I'm saying? They're here. They're gonna ask you a few questions and then go from there, okay? All right.
All right, Sarah, my name is Chelsea, my partner Scott. It's my understanding you reside here? Okay, is it just you, okay.
Yeah, it's just her now. Just her. No more George. He's gone. He's at the morgue. Just her. She resides here for like a day. Well, she's not even that, is it? She's at Brian Boone's house.
Your former husband, okay. But you reside here with George, and then your son lives with you, or lives, there's 50/50? Yeah. Okay. So from what has told me, she explained last night that you guys were drinking a bottle of wine, and around midnight, you decided, you guys, okay. You guys decided to play hide and seek.
Well, we were playing hide and seek, and then.
Was your son home at the time, or, okay,
No, it was mine. It was mine.
okay,
Decided to play, we just did it like that, like, we were putting puzzles together, we were doing artwork. You can see the puzzle that we finished in there, and then the artwork, and then decided to play hide and seek, just being stupid.
okay.
So he decided to get in his suitcase, so I thought it would be funny to, and he was talking about it too, to get him up in there. I go upstairs and he fell asleep. So this morning when I was got here, I actually got up out of the bed. I thought sure he was downstairs on the laptop, really quiet. But then I came upstairs and I'm like, where is he? Like, and then that's when I found him.
Okay.
I don't know what happened.
Okay. And then you weren't sure about if you woke up this morning
It was afternoon. I mean, I was
or this afternoon?
but I just didn't want to come downstairs. So
Okay.
I just laid in bed for a little while. And then I eventually went upstairs, confused about where he was. And then I was like, oh my God. So I pulled him out and I stretched him out and I started to stretch him in CPR for him. I called you guys. So I called Brian.
Okay.
And then as soon as he got here, which is 30 seconds on the road, I called you guys.
Okay.
The person on the phone had me do the concussions continually, so I can count with him until you guys shut up.
Okay. And, so as part of our investigation, we obviously have to go inside the house. We have to look at things. Are you okay with us going in the house and looking at things? Okay. Okay. And forensics, so we have to have our forensics crime scene investigators come out. Are you also okay with them coming inside, taking photographs and? Okay. Okay.
Can I ask, is Brian, sorry, George, was he diagnosed with any kind of mental history?
Not that I know of. I don't know. I mean, it doesn't take drugs. I mean, we'll have you see one bottle of wine here and there, but I don't know, like.
Well, maybe my next question. So you guys don't normally drink, you just drink once in a while, or?
Well, I'm gonna say, like, okay, I guess normal drinking is, like, we will have like a glass of wine or two, like, while we're eating dinner, or church, here, and we'll say, we're getting with them, we'll be in there. But it's not like.
A couple of beers a day?
I don't understand though, like, for the little bit that we had, like, not having, like, I don't know if they had a heart attack or a stroke or anything, or what happened, I don't know.
So were you guys together all day yesterday? Yes. Okay. Here?
Yes.
Like neither of you left the apartment yesterday?
I rose up to the before to get cigarettes.
Okay.
But you can walk there.
Does he have any history of taking drugs? I know he doesn't now, he said he doesn't,
I
but
don't know.
as far as you've ever known him, you've never seen him.
No. I mean, he's from Philadelphia and he grew up in Philadelphia and then he went to Massachusetts and then from Massachusetts he came down here. So I don't really know like a whole lot of like medical history or.
How long have you guys been together?
Almost 4 years, like 3.5 years.
You guys been living here the whole time?
Yes.
He's never been to the doctor or to the hospital during that time?
He and his brother got into a really bad argument at one point and had facial reconstruction. But he has been in the hospital from that. And then I talked him into going to see like a regular physician so he could get just like a regular like checkup thing. Yeah. But there were no red flags.
How long ago was that?
The surgery or the doctor?
Oh.
The surgery, I think, was at this point, like 2 years maybe, 2.5 years. The checkup was probably a good
2 years too.
And the suitcase is still in there?
Yep, Is it normally stored down there, or did you guys travel recently?
No, he was gonna start picking from, or the, what do you call it? Donation in there, so that's why
it's out?
Yes.
Okay, you guys did recently travel somewhere and you're like,
After you zipped them up, did you move the bag around and that's the mail, or you just zipped it up and walked away
I
after?
was laughing about it, but I went upstairs and I fell asleep.
But what position was he in when you went in? Was he sitting on his rear end and his head up and he just kind of?
No, okay, so like this is the suitcase, like this is his head, and then right here, and his feet were down.
So he was laying on his side?
Yes.
You just closed the flap and zipped it around?
Yes.
Okay.
I moved the cleaning.
I understand this, okay.
So he said that I needed to tell you guys about his family. Like, who do I talk to about?
we're gonna do that once we walk through and see, we're
We're not
gonna,
going anywhere, we're
I'm
gonna
just
be
telling you, like,
it's gonna be a
I'm
while.
afraid for my life. I want you to know that. I am afraid for my life. His family has never liked me. I'm the blue-eyed white devil, is what they call me. So they've never liked me. They've never taken me in. They've never accepted me. I'll put it that way.
Have you called any of them?
We talked to his daughters yesterday.
No, I mean, like, about this. Is
No.
that- Okay.
That's
So
what
no one's gonna know until, we will be making that notification, so
they're going to
it's,
tell me.
okay,
Do
well,
they live local?
Yes, they're down the road. They're going to tell me. His kids are going to tell me in Philadelphia. They're going to tell me. This was not intentional.
okay.
They're not going to understand that. They're not going to accept it.
We're gonna do a thorough investigation, and we will definitely make sure that you don't feel scared when we need you, okay?
And my 9-year-old.
Or he's at school, and he's with your husband.
I know, well,
Ex-husband.
Your husband said that, or your ex-husband said he made arrangements for your non-vote and picked up.
Oh, okay, Mom. Okay.
All right, we're gonna go inside.
Yes, please, but you guys keep me posted, so I know what's going on.
Yes.
And don't,
All you have to do is get their attention if you have a question, you need to talk to us. He's standing right there, she'll be right here.
yeah, okay, but will you guys tell me, like, so you're telling me, like, you won't call whoever it is without telling me, right? I mean, I have all their phone.
We're not calling, we're not making phone calls, we're actually gonna speak to them in person.
Yeah.
We
That'll
are.
be later on.
Okay.
It'll be
We'll go
later.
prior to us making any
I'm
calls.
not gonna be here. They're going to tell me,
Okay.
We'll address all of that, okay, before we leave.
okay? This was.
Okay? Okay.
Thank you. Just stay seated, okay, Sarah? I know you're panicking, okay? Just relax. I'm gonna talk to you. We'll keep checking on you.
This cop is great. Someone needs to give her a medal. She's brilliant. I can't get over these guys standing behind the judge. It just looks really weird. It's like they're ghosts or something. I think they should be standing in costumes. We need one Roman soldier, one World War II bombardier,
While you were at the scene, did you also make contact with Brian Boone?
Yes,
Did you take a statement from him as well?
I did.
Were all your interactions with the defendant on that day captured on your body-worn camera?
Yes.
I have no additional questions at this time.
Thank you. Any cross-examination?
No questions, Judge.
Is this witness released?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, you're released, not subject to recall, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank
Can the parties approach for a moment?
I guess the defense is just waiting for their case in chief to put Sarah on the stand to bring back Brian Boone. You know, it's kind of an interesting tactic just to let the prosecution bore the jury to death. And then they have full reign, right? They're not mixing it in with boring Mr. J and boring Mr. Chicken. It's not over yet, you know. Maybe she's going to win. Wouldn't that be something? And then she can do a media tour on Nancy Grace and 48 Hours and 2020 about how she was wrongfully arrested. That'll make us all really cheer up after all that Adelson drama, huh? Sarah Boone on a non-stop media circus tour, telling us all about how badly she was treated. She'd lap that up, wouldn't she? She'd love that. Yeah, Chris, Gerard, it might be far-fetched with all of the evidence against her. But I guess I'm referring mainly to the very seemingly weak and boring prosecution style and tactics. Yeah. We watching this, everyone that's here in the chat, most of us have the luxury of having studied this case for years. The jury don't have that perspective. It's all pretty new to them. Unfortunately for Sarah, she has no idea how to see herself from someone else's shoes, and the version of herself that exists in her own mind is completely at odds with the reality of how she represents. I mean, so when she takes the stand, it's not going to go well. We can say that with some certainty.
.337. Similar instructions that I've given you previously. Please don't conduct any independent investigation or research as the person, places, things, or charge involved, and do not have any discussions amongst yourselves or anyone else. I thank you for your service, and we'll see you shortly.
Wow, she really is short. Unless Mr. Owens is like 7 feet tall.
Y'all may be seated. Thank you. Bless you. State anything else we need to address?
No, Your Honor.
Defense?
No, Your Honor.
All right, we'll be in a recess till 3:37. Thank you very much.
This is a bit Kardashian, isn't it? I mean, oh man.
Thank you. You may be seated. State, do you recognize our jury?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense, do you recognize our jury?
Yes.
Members of the jury, again, if you could please raise your hand, showing that you complied with the court's instructions during our last break. All right, the record reflect all jurors have raised their hands. State, you may call your next witness.
State will call Deputy John Martinez.
I do.
Sir, good afternoon. Can you state and spell your name for the record for us?
Deputy John Martinez, JOHNMARTINZ.
Thanks, sir. You may be seated.
Thank
You may inquire, sir.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Tell us,
Yeah, Kim, Wendy said that about the Markells. They're going to think it was me.
who is it that you work for?
Orange County Sheriff's Office,
And what is your position with the Orange County Sheriff's Office?
Deputy Sheriff.
How long have you been with the Orange County Sheriff's Office?
I'm going on my 16th year.
Prior to working for the Orange County Sheriff's Office, do you have any previous law enforcement experience?
I do.
And where was that?
I first started my career with the New York City Police Department,
And how long were you with the New York City Police Department?
about 10 years.
And what was your position with the New York City Police Department?
I was a police officer.
And at the sheriff's office, tell us, what are some of your duties as a deputy sheriff?
Respond to calls.
It's mosquito spray. At the end of October. Great.
Service. My primary function is the school resource officer.
And is continuing training a condition of your employment with the sheriff's office?
It is.
Tell us, how is it that you became involved in this case?
I was dispatched to this location.
And what was this location?
At 3.
We could do, there's enough room for about 25 more likes. Oh, no. 7 more likes. That's easy. Okay, 7 of you. Go and click the like button if you haven't already. That'd really help us out to get to 100%. And if any of you are thinking, hey, True Crime Metrix, love the show, but we really want to know where we could support the channel. Good news, guys. There's a link in the description to buymeacoffee.com, and you click that and you can support the channel. And it's very much appreciated.
And is that here in Orange County, Florida?
It is.
And when you responded to that location, who did you first come into contact with?
I came in contact with Miss Sarah Boone.
Do you see Sarah Boone here in court today?
I do.
Could you please point to her and identify an article of clothing she's wearing?
The lady sitting in the middle with the black blazer.
Your Honor, may the record reflect that the witnesses identify the defendant?
Record will so reflect.
During the time that you were on the scene, did you have a body-worn camera?
I did.
And was that body-worn camera activated?
It was.
Were all your contacts with Ms. Boone recorded on that body-worn camera?
It was.
Were other deputies also on the scene at that time?
Yes.
And was Deputy Rodriguez there?
She was.
So would both of your body worn cameras both captured some of the same time frames?
Correct, yes.
Did you have an occasion to go inside of the apartment?
Angel baby, hello.
I did.
And inside of the apartment, what observations did you make?
When I first entered the apartment, I noticed a Hispanic male laying on his back in looks like a small nook dining area. Later identified Mr. George Torres.
Your Honor, may I approach the witness who's been previously marked for identification as states K and been shown to defense?
You may.
Sir, I'm showing you it's been marked for identification as states K. Do you recognize that disc?
I do.
Tell us, what is that disc?
Is a copy of my body worn camera.
And does this body worn camera fairly and accurately depict the a portion of the events that took place on February 24th, 2020?
It does.
And are those your initials on the disc?
Yes, they are.
Your Honor, at this time, I'd like to move what's previously been marked for identification as states K into evidence.
Any objections?
No objection.
What was pre-marked as states K will be received into evidence without objection as state 7.
Your Honor, request permission to publish.
You may. Madam Clerk, can you dim the lights?
Observation Station wants to know, what is that spray sound? Well, that was very keenly observed of you, Observation Station. It's a bug spray for mosquitoes. Yeah. Yeah. They're buzzing.
now. I'll get you somebody, okay? She wants to say something. She wants to call, come on.
You don't know anything though, like why or how? So that, we will not know the answer to that because we're not. So what's gonna happen, you're gonna go to the office, and they'll have what's called an autopsy. Yeah. That'll be first thing tomorrow morning. I'll know a lot, hopefully a lot more tomorrow morning as far as him. But I cannot, there's no way I can say how, why. So just by looking at him, like, why is he purple? That's normal when someone passes away within an age turn.
This is a hard stop being in the
Hey, thanks so much, Veronica, for the coffees. That is very kind of you, Veronica, and we thank you very much.
I'm like really scared. I want you guys to know that.
Well, you have all these evidences, so while we're here, nothing's gonna happen. Before we go and make any notifications, you'll have plenty of time to leave or do what you need to do. Whatever you need to do, okay? And we can talk about that more in time, right? Yeah, you.
But like, I don't, like, this was totally like not intentional. Like, that's what I'm scared about too, like.
We'll have all the answers, we'll have a lot more answers tomorrow, like you said, what you're seeing here is common. This is us coming out.
Sort of common.
Yeah, his age, no real medical history that we know of. For them to have passed away, we come out.
I know, yeah.
We come out to an investigation. This is what we did. If he was 75 years old and had a heart condition, we wouldn't be here.
I don't know what it is.
Exactly. And that's what we're here to find out. We're just here to get the answers. The answers that you want, the answers that the family
I
want.
really want to see my son. I really need to see my son. I mean, I know I can't go anywhere, but right. So do I just like sit out here and wait for you guys?
Yeah, you would, yeah. Please.
Does anybody else have you to show up or everybody's here that needs to be here? My team's here, that needs to be here. The medical examiners will show up when we call them, but we're not ready for them yet. So they're gonna take him, they're gonna take the photos, take him, but that's for the end of it. And they'll be called well in advance when we're ready for them, but we're not ready for them at this point. So we won't be calling them quite yet. Okay? So like I said, I gotta go do some paperwork. They're gonna chat with some people, and then we're gonna come back and talk to you if you're okay with that. So just give us a little bit more time. Like I said, and you don't do that. So, if you guys tell his family, like today or after tomorrow, you have to. So, our investigation is pretty much complete here. Once we leave here, we will know into.
But again, we'll know. I'm not gonna just go into it without you knowing, you'll know. Anything like that.
But how, I mean, I understand what you guys and how you do it, and, you know, so, but like, what do you just tell him? What do you tell his parents? Like, what's the reason as to why?
We tell them what we know at that point. We tell them the truth.
And that we're gonna be waiting for the autopsy results, and I will get the autopsy in the morning. And hopefully the doctor will be able to give me some of what they think and see.
Their number, they can contact them, get it, you know.
So yeah, they're gonna know what we're here, what we're investigating, and that we're still. They're gonna think I killed him. They always have said that. They've always have said that. I told you it's because I'm the blue-eyed white dragon. That's what they call me, because they don't want him with me. So he's basically just not really been around his family because he chooses me over them. Even after I encouraged him numerous times to go there and see his family. So her off at one time. Do you have somewhere safe that you can go tonight? Both my parents are deceased, my grandparents are deceased, and my aunt and uncle are deceased. I got notice. I have a brother that's in the Marines, and I've got another one that's in jail. Unless you find that Marine local, no. Well, he's in Altamont, but I think he's doing whatever Marine thing he's doing. But the only way. Your phone's inside, correct? Yeah. Does he have a phone? No, he doesn't know. He uses my phone. He uses your. Yeah, the sheriff one. So the only place I could go is over to Brian's house. So I don't think we'll have a problem with it. So, well, like I said, we're not gonna leave here. If you do not feel safe, you're not gonna leave here if you're not feeling safe. And then we're like, and then so I'm in Philadelphia. Well, she's in Philadelphia because there's gotta be a funeral, right? That you're talking like days and
Yeah, you're not invited to the funeral. You're not getting your engagement ring back. Lucas's laptop is evidence and staying with us. You know, don't worry about these things, Sarah.
Right here, right now.
You've got about time enough to have 2 magnums of Chardonnay, and then it's straight to jail. Okay.
Investigation. Let me go do this paperwork that I'm talking about because we can go back and forth about what if like all day long. I know. So I promise we're not going to leave here for you and you not feel safe. Please. I don't even know what to tell you. It's okay. Just take a seat, have some water, give us a few minutes, let us start thing, and we'll be back to talk to you, I promise, okay?
You just, let them know.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah. Okay.
You have a name on there?
There's nobody here, just me.
Okay, that's fine. You're right there. Right?
Yeah.
Sit there, take your line. I have relief coming, so you stay there.
No further questions.
Thank you. Any cross-examination?
No, sir.
Can this witness be released?
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. You're released, not subject to recall. Thank you.
Thank you.
State, you may call your next witness.
State would call Melissa Roughgarden.
Melissa Roughgarden.
State, you may call your next witness.
State would call Melissa Roughgarden.
Rough Garden.
Please swear or affirm that the testimony you should give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. Yes.
Ma'am, good afternoon. Can you state and spell your name for the record for us?
Melissa Roughgarden, MELISSA ROUGHGARDEN.
Thank you. Counselor, you may inquire.
Ma'am, who do you work for?
I'm employed with the Orange County Sheriff's Office.
And what is your position with the Orange County Sheriff's Office?
Currently, I am a forensic biologist with the forensics unit. Prior to this, I was a crime scene investigator for 5 years.
And how long in total have you been with the Orange County Sheriff's Office?
About 6.5 years.
And tell us all the positions you've held during that time.
Those two, a crime scene investigator and a forensic biologist.
Let's turn to your work as a crime scene investigator. What does a crime scene investigator do?
We respond to crime scenes. We photograph and document those crime scenes through photographs, notes, and sometimes sketches. We collect evidence, we process the scene, and then we do further processing to that evidence back at our forensics lab.
When you say process the evidence or process the scene, can you tell us what that entails?
It depends on the scene and the evidence, but it includes the photographs. We also take swabs for potential DNA. We can also do testing for possible blood and things like that. We also process for latent fingerprints, among other things.
What type of training did you need in order to become a crime scene investigator?
Upon being hired with the sheriff's office as a CSI, I completed a 16-week training program, which includes in-house processing as well as going out to crime scenes with trained crime scene investigators to observe and then assist, as well as taking on calls with the trained crime scene investigator.
Approximately how many crime scenes have you processed in the course of your time as a CSI?
It would be hundreds. I don't know the exact amount.
Were you working in this capacity as a CSI on February 24th, 2020?
Yes, I was.
And tell us, where did you respond out to on that day?
I responded to 4748 France Court, Apartment 3.
And is that in Orange County, Florida?
Yes, it is.
And when you responded to that scene, whom did you make contact with?
I made contact with the homicide detective, Chelsea Kepsel.
Did you receive information from the detective?
Yes, that it was a death investigation.
Did you walk the scene with the detective?
Yes.
And tell us, what does it mean to walk the scene with a detective in a homicide?
We go into the
Thanks so much, C. Malone, for the super sticker.
the scene and just observe. We don't interact with anything and discuss what we see.
When you walked this scene, did you see George Torres?
Yes, I did.
Where was he located?
He was located on the floor in the living room of the apartment.
Did you, with the detective, identify potential items of evidence to be collected?
Yes.
You had mentioned previously about documenting scenes with photographs. Was that done in this case?
Yes, it was.
Your Honor, may I approach the witness who's been marked for identification?
I know, Leslie, this fucking suitcase box. I mean, to me, it seems like kind of very unceremonious. You know, a guy died in the bag that's in that box, and they've just chucked it into the corner. I mean, it kind of feels like you should treat it with a bit more respect. I mean, put it on the floor if it doesn't fit into that little metal trolley thing. You know, it's just at an angle. It seems a little in bad taste to me. Hey, thanks so much for the super sticker, Laura. You're a star. Thank you. And remember, guys, super thanks, super likes, super stickers are great, but we've also got the fantastic buymeacoffee.com, where you can buy us a coffee.com. Great way to support the channel, guys. Oh, lost audio. Hang on. Hang on.
Ma'am, I'm showing you what's been marked for identification as States M. Can you take a look at the contents of State M to yourself and tell me if you recognize the items contained within States M?
Yes.
Yeah, these kids, these students at the judge's bench, they must be looking at Mr. Chicken and thinking, I could do better than this. He gets paid for this? I could do this. I mean, seriously, I have never been anywhere even close to being in a law school. And I know for a fact that I could do better than Mr. Chicken and Mr. J put together with no training whatsoever. Just I'd go in there right now and do a better job.
Do you recognize the contents of States M?
Yes, I do.
Tell us, what is the contents of State M?
They are photographs I took on the crime scene.
Do they fairly and accurately represent how that crime scene appeared on February 24th, 2020?
Yes, they do.
Your Honor, at this time, I'd like to move what's previously been marked.
KJD, yeah, you're assuming that I have any doors to be in. No, we pretty much live outside.
Marked for identification as States M into evidence.
How many photographs are there? Do you have a total?
111.
No objection.
All right. What was pre-marked as States M will be received into evidence without objection as States 8.
Your Honor, request permission to publish.
You may.
Here's where we see the wine bottle riding, is it? I'm surprised that Mr. J hasn't run up to help carry it in. The enormous bottle.
Your Honor, can we have the lights dim?
Yes.
A bottle of wine, that's all we had, you know, each. And a humongous one. And secret vodka that you'll never find. Hey, we just need another 7 people in the stream to break that 3-figure special moment. I thought that was an honor reserved only for an Adelson case coverage. But it looks like we're only another 6 to go. Soap, are you ready with your trumpet? Soap, ready with your trumpet.
And I'm first going to publish to you as part of States M.
It doesn't matter how small you are, Leslie. If you've got an alcohol tolerance, you can drink a lot of booze.
Picture photo number 4.
See you later, Casey. Great to have you here. See you again soon.
States 5.
This is also the front door of the residence, just a close.
Or maybe it's Cassie. Am I saying it wrong? And maybe it's not Jacobson. Maybe it is Jacobson. I've been calling Cassie Jacobson Casey Jacobson. I'm so sorry, Casey. Cassie. I'll just call you KJ. How's that? We can't go wrong with KJ.
Closer image to the door.
When you enter the residence, what is the first area just off to the right of the front door?
That would be the kitchen.
Showing you it's been marked as states 11.
Yes, so this is just inside the door. To the right, there is the kitchen area.
Showing you states 14.
Yes.
What is this a photo of?
So this is the counter with the sink in the kitchen. And there's also the open area just above where you can see into the living room.
Showing you from states composite, photo 19.
Yes.
What is this?
This is a hutch inside the kitchen. You can see in the background, that is where that first photo of the kitchen was taken. So that's the entryway. And then this is the hutch, and there is a cell phone on the hutch in the kitchen.
Showing you state 22.
This is the trash can in the kitchen. You can also see the hutch we were just looking at there on the side.
States 23.
This is the contents of the trash can. You can see 2 wine bottles on the top of the trash.
Did you also find receipts in that trash can as well?
Yes.
Photo 25 from the composite.
These are those same wine bottles and 3 Publix receipts that were removed from the trash can.
Did you take these items and collect them into evidence in this case?
Yes, I did.
Thanks so much for the coffee, M. Skate or Miss Kate. Michelle. Okay, it's M. Skate. Thanks, M. Skate.
Photo 32 from the composite.
Yes, this is just in further into that entryway. You can see the living room.
Photo 35 from the composite.
This is another photo of the living room. You can see the victim located on the floor and a suitcase in the bottom corner of the photograph.
Photo 36.
This is another photograph in the living room. This is that wall we saw in the kitchen there with the opening. You can also see a wooden baseball bat leaning against the wall.
That baseball bat collected into evidence in this case?
Yes, it was.
Photo 38.
This is, excuse me. This is also a photograph of the living room. just the other side of the room.
Photo 43 from the composite.
Yes, this photograph was taken in the living room. You can see the stairs leading to the second floor.
Photograph 45.
This is a photograph of the living room just from the other side of the room. You can see the front door in the middle back of the photo.
Photo 49 from the composite.
This is a more close-up photograph of the suitcase.
Photo 50.
Laurie O asks, did Sarah have a job? Not at the time, I don't think. There was a previous arrest video from a previous incident where Sarah was arrested as well, and she said that she just got a job last week and that she couldn't be late, and they were like, well, screw your job, you're going to jail. So we don't know if she lost the job, but I don't think she had one at the time, nor him. She was always asking Brian for the money, upfront money, and yeah, no job. I don't believe so.
This is a photograph of one of the zippers on the suitcase.
Photograph 51.
This is a close-up picture of that same zipper. There is no zipper pull on it. It appeared to be a small wire of some sort, the pink wrapped around the zipper. This is the zipper on the other side of the suitcase.
Just for the record, that's photograph 52. States 53 from this composite.
The close-up image of that same zipper. There is also no zipper pull on that one.
Photo 54 from the composite.
This is the contents of the suitcase after just lifting the lid.
Photo 56 from the composite.
More of a close-up image of the items. There were miscellaneous papers and paperwork, some clothing items, and apparent blood inside the suitcase.
What items, what apparent blood was inside the suitcase?
It was observed on the white cap and a necktie, and there was also visible blood just.
He's going to get the bag out in a minute. I want to see that. I mean, we don't really need to go through every picture.
Also had occasion to collect the baseball bat from the living room.
Yes, I did.
Evidence?
Any objections? No objection. What was pre-marked as A will be received into evidence without objection as States 11.
And Your Honor, at this time I ask for permission to publish States A to the jury.
You may.
Joanne, welcome back. Welcome back, Joanne Georgiades. I think I also saw Ramble On. Hey, Ramble On, how you doing?
Can you open the inside of it?
God, look at that tiny bag. I could not fit in that bag. My God. Even George, that must have been, a struggle. What a position to be trapped in. Man. It kind of looked bigger on Sarah's video. Now we see it in court, and that's just a nightmare.
How easy is it to operate the zipper that closes the suitcase?
It was a little difficult.
I have no additional questions at this time.
Thank you. Any cross-examination?
Yes, Your Honor.
I've just noticed that they've switched the court reporter.
Good afternoon.
Are you also referred to as a medical examiner investigator as opposed to just crime scene investigator?
No, that is not my title.
Do you do reports that the medical examiner necessarily relies upon in the process of doing the autopsy and additional investigations?
You would have to ask them.
Who makes a decision at the scene as to what items will be photographed and what items will be taken into custody, what items will necessarily be tested or analyzed?
That's a collaborative effort between the crime scene investigator and the lead detective while on scene.
That would be yourself, and who was the lead detective?
The lead detective was Chelsea Kepsel.
Now, you authored a report in this matter, did you not?
Yes.
And that report was utilized, if you in fact know, by the medical examiner in developing her autopsy report, was it not?
I do not know.
In your report, did you advise the medical or whomever might read your report that in fact the body had been removed from the suitcase by first offenders or first responders?
No, I don't believe so.
And we know that you have the capacity to do DNA analysis, correct?
No, we process DNA or collect swabs for DNA, and then that's submitted to the Florida Department of Law Enforcement for conventional DNA analysis.
You did that with a sample from the inside of Sarah Boone's mouth.
Her buccal swabs were submitted to the FDLE.
And who made that decision?
The detective and I.
Who made the decision not to bother to do a DNA analysis on the blood from the items within the suitcase or the suitcase itself?
That was a discussion between the detective and I.
And you chose not to do that?
No, we did not.
You assumed that the blood inside the suitcase belonged to George Torres, correct?
There was blood observed in the suitcase.
But you don't know who that belonged to because you didn't bother to analyze it or have it analyzed, correct?
The blood was not tested.
Now, State's Exhibit B, the bat, you took that into evidence. Was that again a collaborative decision by yourself and the lead detective?
Yes.
And what efforts did you make to have the bat analyzed, given the fact that it was apparently evidence?
It was just collected as evidence from the scene.
Did you advise either the lead detective or anybody else involved with this investigation that there may be matters that could be analyzed when analyzing the bat that would help or assist in the investigation of this matter?
It's my job to do the documentation and the collection of evidence.
You said it was a collaborative effort between yourself and the lead detective. So did you participate in that decision?
We chose to collect the bat and put it into evidence.
And so there was a fiber analysis done on the bat to determine whether or not it was used to strike George Torres when he was in the suitcase. Was there not?
Pardon?
In fact, there was not, was it? There was no effort to analyze bat.
I'm going to object. I don't believe the witness had an opportunity to answer the question.
Sustained.
I'm sorry. Please.
Can you repeat the question?
If I can remember it, I will. Do you know that there was any effort made in this particular investigation, the investigation of Sarah Boone, to analyze the bat for fibers?
No, there was not.
And why was that not done?
It was not done.
You indicated that you had some interaction with Ms. Boone. Is that correct?
I collected her buccal swabs.
Did you speak with her?
in collecting her buccal swabs, yes.
Did you speak to any other witnesses?
No.
Did you make any determination of other matters that might be of import or evidentiary value when you were going through the house and taking photographs and documenting the interior of the townhouse?
You'll have to be more specific.
Well, how many pictures of the child's bedroom did we see?
Here today,
Yes, ma'am.
we saw the entrance to the bedroom as well as a photograph of the interior of the bedroom.
What was the evidentiary value of that?
It's my job to photograph and document while on scene. So the rooms in the upstairs were photographed and documented.
Did you photograph holes in the wall, possibly made by the victim?
I don't recall photographing holes in the wall, no.
Did you take photographs of items within the house or throughout the house that may have depicted incidents of prior violence?
You'll have to be more specific.
How about bloody pillowcases? Did you make any effort to collect and analyze pillowcases of the rooms that you were photographing?
No.
You have significant experience with zippers,
I use zippers regularly, yes.
enough to have an opinion as to whether or not a zipper is stuck or not.
Is what? Sorry?
You testified on direct that the zipper was a little tight.
Just that it was difficult without the zipper pulls to use the zipper.
And that was your opinion.
Yes, from opening the suitcase here today.
Today, you only tested it today?
Pardon?
You only today have for the first time tested the ability to pull open the zipper on the suitcase?
No, I'm saying it was difficult today.
Nothing further on.
A redirect examination.
Yes, Your Honor. In this case, you documented the entirety of the house as you saw it.
Yes,
So every room in the house,
they were all taken overall photographs.
walls in the house.
In the overall photographs, yes, they weren't all individually photographed, no.
And you did not document or note any type of holes in the wall or any type of damage to the walls, anything like that.
Not the walls, no.
Is that something that would have been documented both photographically and also within your report?
Yes,
You also, as we've previously seen in the composite, saw the victim where he was laying in this case, correct?
yes,
Was the victim, did he have blood on his mouth and on his face?
yes, he did.
Did he have open wounds on his body?
There was blood coming from his nose and his mouth. There was also some other areas, like defects noted on his body.
You also made contact with the defendant too, as well.
Yes,
Did you note any other wounds or cuts or anything else that was not documented that you haven't testified to?
no,
So no wounds, nothing on her.
not that I recall, no.
No further questions.
Thank you. Can this witness be released?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Jones, can this witness be released?
Judge, we'd like her to be on call.
Subject to recall, ma'am. Thank you. Can the parties approach?
They're wrapping it up. That will be the end of day one.
For the evening. Members of the jury, thank you so much for your attention in this matter. It is 4:52. At this time, we're going to go ahead and take our recess for the evening. Madam Clerk has letters that I have signed regarding your jury service for you to provide to your employer.
Yeah, we'll wrap it up, guys. Last chance to get those coffees in. At buymeacoffee.com, link in the description, guys. Remember to leave a like on the video on your way out and subscribe to the channel.
Court deputy will provide them to you in the deliberation room before you are released for the day. I have a similar instruction to read to you that I gave you before the lunch hour. Jurors, you must not conduct any investigation on your own. This includes reading newspapers, watching television, or using a computer, cell phone, the internet, any electronic device, or any other means at all to get information related to this case or the people and places involved in this case. This applies whether you are in the courthouse, at home, or anywhere else. You must not visit places mentioned in the trial or use the internet to look at maps or pictures to see any place discussed during the trial. Jurors.
Yeah, McRambalon, we did play those and it was great. I think we did it mixed in with another video. I might do them again, like singularly, so that they're easy to find because they're really good.
Do not watch local news or read local newspapers. Jurors must not have discussions of any sort with friends, family members, or even your fellow jurors about the case or the people and places involved. So do not let anyone make comments to you or ask questions about the trial. I want to stress again that just as you must not talk about this case face-to-face, you must not talk about this case by using an electronic device. You must not use phones, computers, or other electronic devices to communicate. Do not send or accept any messages related to this case or your jury service. Do not discuss this case or ask for advice by any means at all, including posting information on an internet website, chat room, or blog. With that, members of the jury, I'm going to release you back to the deliberation room for you to receive the paperwork for your employer, and we will see you at 9 a.m. this coming Monday, October 21st. And I thank you for your sacrifice and your service.
And that's a wrap, guys. Okay, we will be back tomorrow. Well, actually, we finished day one and tomorrow's Sunday. Well, maybe we'll do a little a summary of day one. That'll be good. Yeah, maybe we'll do a brief summary of day one and a few previous Boone arrest videos for context. How about that? Might as well stay on the Boone case for now. We've got a full week planned of Boone. So yeah, we will see you all tomorrow at some time in the day or night, whatever. Okay, good night, guys, and have a safe drive home. Thanks for being here. Thanks for sending comments. Thanks for liking the video. Thanks for supporting the channel. We couldn't do it without you guys. You guys are so good, and we will see you real soon tomorrow night. Catch you later, guys.